Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Taylor, and you're tuned in to the Taylor James Lifestyle Show. Today, I have something a little bit different. It's a little bit of some new stuff haven't really done before. So, basically, today what we're going to do is we're going to do a Sunday sermon. Taylor's Sunday sermon. My take on just some segments from the Bible that I'm interested in the moment, I guess. So, bear with me though. It is something new to me and to the podcast, of course. I like to go to church and hear other people, give their take, and I love that. But I don't know. I find it really interesting, and I'd like to share, I guess, my opinions and share, I guess, what I learned from it. And so today I thought we would start in James 1, which is a pretty awesome section. It's the first chapter in the book of James. I got notes here, so by no means am I like a pastor or anything like that. I'm just a dude who is a God-fearing dude, right? And so I'm giving my take on a few things that I'm learning in my journey, and so hopefully somebody will get some value from that. So this is part of the New Testament. For those of you that don't know, the book of James traditionally is attributed to James, who was the brother of Jesus and the leader in the early Christian church. The themes in James 1. First I have here trials and tribulations. James 1 speaks about facing trials and tribulations. James encourages believers to consider it pure joy when they face trials of various kinds, understanding that the testing of faith produces perseverance. I can tell you from personal experience that is the absolute truth. There are a lot of things that I don't really share with a lot of people as far as the trials and tribulations of my life. Now, a few people know about some key parts of my life, and let's just say it was difficult to make it through that, and even still, being that it was years ago, some of which over 15 years ago, things happened, and now I'm on my journey chasing my faith, or I don't know if you want to say chasing, but I guess fulfilling my faith, or I don't know what you call that, but I kind of just locked up there for a second. My bad, guys. Like I said, this is new. We're gonna figure out a good system for this, but trials and tribulations, man, they do make us who we are, and I think I'm a testament to that. And I think that everybody who takes the negative and takes the trials and tribulations and uses that as some sort of fuel or some sort of, ignition to ignite the fire inside you. You know what I mean? Like it says here, the testing of faith produces perseverance. To be quite honest with you guys, right now I'm actually going through a pretty fucking hard time. Nothing I want to get into, just shit that I think we all probably face in life. But I can say this, I can tell you that it's brought me, 1, closer to God, 2, it's helping me build the man that I want to become, and 3, it's given me a whole lot of fucking experience to work off of for the future, right? And I'm grateful to God for that. I'm grateful every day. I talk to God every day, and I ask him for help, of course, but I also tell him how grateful I am for the experiences and for the lessons that he has been giving to me through the trials and tribulations, because I believe that is the truth. So we'll move on to the next one. This is something that This is something that I do a lot. Asking for wisdom. It advises those who lack wisdom to ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault. Man, that's beautiful. That's unconditional love. You know what I mean? That is God. That is God. And I ask God every day to give me the wisdom to be able to solve the problems that I'm faced with on a daily basis, small, large, medium size, whatever kind of problems. But God, please give me the wisdom to know how to handle people, to know how to navigate situations that I've never had to navigate before. God, please give me the wisdom to know when to help people and when not to help people, because there is a time to and a time to not. That's a heavy one to me, man. What's going on here? Whoopsie. Asking God for wisdom is huge, and the thing about it is God delivers without finding fault. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see. So another theme, I guess here. Sorry for the ringer going off. I need to silence. I got like 8 different, 3 in the vicinity here, Apple products that are all linked together, and so it's like ding, 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 ding. Faith and doubt. The chapter also touches on the need for faith without doubt when asking God for anything. I think that goes without saying. I mean, that is faith. The faith is believing in something that you cannot see, I guess. The thing about it is, if you're not seeing it, I don't think you're looking. And that's my opinion. Again, these are just the opinions of some God-fearing dude that likes to talk on a camera and a microphone sometimes. But I see God on a daily basis, man. I see God in the world. I see God in me. I see God in you. I see God in the acts I see people doing. I see it everywhere. In the words that people say to each other. I see God. I see him everywhere. And so for me, when people say, faith is believing without seeing, it's like, dude, I believe, but I also see. You know what I mean? I see it happen all the time. I have had some spiritual experiences in my life that have proven to me without a doubt that my faith is correct. I mean, y'all know I'm fucking doing shit, man. I'm gonna fucking put this bitch in airplane mode. Alright, I'm gonna silence this one too. Maybe. I don't know where the fucking button is on this. Anyways. Okay, we'll close it. Sorry guys, didn't mean to get interrupted there, but lack of planning on my part. So yeah, guys, I mean, if you know where to look, you will see God, and if you know where to listen, you will hear him. One thing that's big for me when I feel like I really want to be connected to God is nature. Getting out and just being in nature really makes me feel connected to God, and a lot of times that's where I like to talk to God. All right, this next little section here, social justice and compassion. There's an emphasis on looking after orphans and widows in their distress and keeping oneself from being polluted by the world. I think that's heavy, man. That's heavy. I mean, that kind of goes without even needing to explain. As a man, I think about this often. I think about, we have a duty as men, typically. And I think it's to protect people who, are maybe weaker or less capable, orphans, widows, people that need help. And in today's world, obviously, this book was written thousands of years ago, but in today's world, it's still applicable. Maybe it's not orphans and widows, but maybe it's anybody that's in need. The principle is that a godly person puts others before himself to help them and to lift them up and and empower them to live better lives, or empower them to, yeah, I guess just live a better life. I promise I'm going to get better at these. I've never done something like this, so it's interesting to me, but it's powerful. I like it, and hopefully somebody else does too. Riches and humility. It warns us about the transient nature of wealth and the importance of humility. One thing that I don't talk about enough is the lessons we learn in life. And this is a little deep for me to even say on here, but I feel like God's got me on a mission. And when I feel like I'm slowing down or things aren't working the way I want them to, imagine yourself in a vehicle and your tires are just spinning. I feel that a lot. But what I think that is, and for me, what that is learning lessons. Because as soon as I learn the lesson, I get traction and I'm able to take off, right? And the lesson of humility and riches is a big one. You know what I mean? And I do believe that, that is something that I've gone through myself, is learning humility and learning about, I guess, the transient nature of wealth, and how, man, it corrupts. I mean, we see it in our world today, with corporations, politicians. We see it everywhere. Probably more now than ever, I would think. All this stuff in the news about money here, money there, crypto, and money being sent to places and essentially stolen from people and used as a form of control. When you elevate to a higher spiritual level, you cannot be controlled by money. Now, don't get me wrong. I think money is very important. I like money. I love money. I want money, and I will make money, and I will get money, and I will use my money to have an impact on the world in a very, very positive way, because that's, I feel, my mission on this planet. But there is the opposite of that. It can corrupt, it can disrupt, and it can destruct. And I've seen it. I mean, we're watching it happen in the world right now. If anybody, if you've watched the news and if you've paid attention to just the atmosphere of the world, the climate, politically, financially, it's been really rough for a lot of people, but it's not for other people. And you got to wonder what the fuck's going on. But my theory behind all that is that good will always prevail. I would rather be broke and be a spiritual, happy, healthy, clear-headed, respected, loved person than to be a person who made their billions or whatever on the backs of child labor, or on the backs of, hardworking Americans, or stealing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you guys think about, politics and stuff, but I think that to a certain degree, taxation is theft, because we don't have any say where our tax dollars go. I thought the whole point was that we all contributed for the betterment of this country. And it really seems like it's never been harder. It's never been, things have never been more expensive. But there are people who seem to have made a lot of money in the last 4 or 5 years. And that's what it's talking about. Apparently they didn't learn humility. And like I said, I think the lesson to be learned is that money is a good thing. Money is a tool, but it's not the main factor. You know what I mean? The main factor being love, compassion, peace, respect, the ability to use that money for good instead of what some people are fucking doing and using it excuse my language, God. So not supposed to swear in church. People use their money for really negative things all the time, and it's sad. It really is. Anyways, we'll move on to the next one. Listening and doing. James emphasizes the importance of not just listening to the word, but doing what it says. He warns against self-deception and the importance of practical application of faith. I think we've all met that Christian, or maybe that Catholic, or somebody, real heavy into the church, and they are this very, very righteous person, and they're also very, very judgmental towards other people, and I think that goes against the faith. I see it a lot, man. I see people who almost think that they are better than other people because they go to church and they're part of a church and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, that's defeating the whole purpose. The whole purpose is to be part of a community, right? That's like-minded and whatnot, and to help the communities. But it's also to be unconditionally loving to people around you, and to find the godly spirit, and to kind of harness that and like live that way in the world. I kind of look at it like, when I go to church, I look at it as my download for the week. And sometimes it's for the week before, and sometimes it's for the week after. And I like have this like notification that goes off in my mind where it's like, ding, that was the lesson for the week, And every time I take that lesson and I go out into the world and I use it to become a better me, or to empower somebody else, or to just, maybe affect some sort of change in somebody's life, or to maybe change something that I've been doing wrong, It's really important to apply faith to life in a real world. I mean, actually, I went to church last week, and they talked about this. They talked about, the people that come to church and call themselves like the most Christian people, or whatever, and but they don't practice outside of church, or they're like very judgmental, or they're like mean because you don't. It's just like, dude, that defeats the whole purpose. The whole point is to be loving and caring, and to bring people in, and to love people for who they are, and to appreciate, everybody for what they are. You know what I mean? And that's, Jesus, turn the other cheek type thing. And that kind of brings us to the end of it, which the end of it is kind of the purpose of this, and the purpose of what we just went through. The purpose of this is essentially a guide to living a prosperous life in the world. What it says here, actually, the purpose of the book of James, known for its emphasis on practical Christian living and ethical conduct, James 1 sets the tone for the entire book by focusing on how to live out one's faith in the midst of challenges and everyday life. So I read that and I immediately thought to myself, wow, that's really applicable to right now. I mean, I don't like I've kind of been saying, I mean, there's a lot of war and chaos going on in the world. And in the midst of all this chaos, we have a guide on how to maintain our humanity, I think. And I think that's one of the most important parts about the Bible, is to use it as a rubric on how to live in the midst of chaos, and live in the midst of temptation and sin, and to not give in to it, man. It's really important that we hold on to these things as long as we can, because it seems like day by day the world is getting shakier and shakier, and society is getting darker and darker. And it's interesting to watch But again, as this happens, as the world becomes, darker, or as aspects of the world become darker, I feel my faith becoming more solidified every day, and I feel like light shining within me shines brighter every day. And I think that's the most important part, and I hope that you can find that as well. And that kind of wraps up my Sunday sermon, guys. Like I said, this was my first one, and I'm no preacher, and I guess probably what I'm gonna do going forward is kind of break it down for you like I did this one, I guess, and maybe just kind of give my opinion on it and just talk about it. I think that's probably what we'll do, but we'll get better. Everyone we do, we'll get better. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. We can go. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, guys, thank you. God bless, and yeah, have a victorious week. God bless you. Later.